I am the example. That's my intention. The choices I make each and every day, they are not just for me, they are for everyone around me. I am the example to everyone I touch and the compound effect of those people. My example has a flow-on effect to everyone around me, and I do not take that responsibility lightly. Everything I do, I set the example. I am grateful for the opportunity to be the example. I set the example. That's my intention. I set the example through my actions, not my words, not by what I say, but by what I do every single day.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Walt Blackman, and I hope you're having a great and wonderful Friday. Make sure you are being safe out there. It's important that you do that. Listen, we're going to be talking about some sensitive topics tonight. There's going to be a lot to unpack, and I want to, first of all, I want you to understand that when I am talking about this evening, I'm coming from a position of pro-life, okay? And so you got to understand that. That's the position which I'm coming from. And I want to make sure that folks understand that and they don't misinterpret what I'm doing some moving around here. They don't misinterpret what I'm talking about. Now, if you don't know, this young lady right here, Representative Rachel Kesho, she wrote a bill that not many people, I think, are tracking. And what this is HCR 2058. We're going to get more into that a little later. And I think it's important that you understand. I wanted to put her picture up here first. And yeah, I sent her a text, let her know I'm going to be talking about her bill. And I got to tell you, great legislator and great conservative, and just a great person when we're talking about caring for what's going on in the legislature. So I just wanted to show her picture. I'll be bringing her up. No, we're not bringing her up, but talking about her bill, HCR 2050. So first, I want to get into Arizona Proposition 139. And you know that passed in 2024, and it amended the Arizona Constitution by adding Article 2, Section 8-1, creating a fundamental right to abortion within the state. Let me give you a breakdown of the key provisions. If you kind of forgot what Proposition 139 did, it establishes the fundamental right. Every individual has the fundamental right to abortion. The state cannot interfere with abortion access before fetal viability unless justified by compelling state interest and using the least restrictive means. Abortions are permitted after viability, and in the treatment healthcare professional's judgment, it's necessary to protect the pregnancy of a individual's life or a physical mental health issue. There is no law prohibiting or penalizing anyone who assists someone in obtaining an abortion, and some of the definitions that are in it. Fetal viability depends on the healthcare professional's good faith judgment. Compelling state interest must align with evidence-based medicine and not infringe on autonomy. And in later versions that were added to the state interest can include protection from discrimination based on race, sex, and disability. Now, when we talk about the constitutional context of this, Arizona Constitution says Prop 39 directly modifies the state constitution to enshrine abortion rights, overriding previous state constitution that includes the 1864 total ban and a 15-week abortion. Now, the U.S. constitutional context, U.S. Supreme Court ruling in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization of 2022 removed federal protections from abortion, returning the authority back to the states. Arizona Prop 139 reflected a state-level constitutional response to preserving the right once protected under Roe v. Wade. While the U.S. Constitution, especially the 14th Amendment, protects due process and equal protection, those rights no longer include abortion access post-Dobbs. However, Arizona now independently guarantees this right through its own constitution. So the conclusion of this, everybody, is that Prop 139 represents a strong constitutional guarantee of abortion rights at the state level in Arizona. Independent of federal constitution interpretations, it restricts state interference, pre-viability, and provides broad protections for patients and providers. Now, I want to go back really quickly, and I want you to remember this word, this last one, and the later provisions that were added in state interest. And it says it protections from discrimination based on race, sex, and disability. So today I want to talk about making the case for HCR 2058. And again, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because there wasn't too much talk about this HCR. This HCR is going to go to the ballot. It's going to the ballot. And, you know, I got to tell you, this young lady, Representative Kesho, HCR 2058, is a proposed constitutional amendment in Arizona that offers a more balanced approach to reproductive rights. It upholds a woman's right to an abortion under certain conditions, while allowing the state to exercise legitimate and necessary public interest in the post-Roe legal landscape. So that's what the HCR does, 2058. Now, since it does go to the ballot, it didn't go to the governor's office. So what does that mean as proposed? So it'll be resolved by this came out of the House and the Senate. It's going to affect Article 2, Section 8 of the Arizona Constitution. Again, I read what it does, the fundamental right to abortion, the definitions as it says. However, there is something in here that you all are going to be wowed about. And I got to tell you, I give it two. I give it to Representative Kesho. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. I give it to Representative Kesho because, I mean, she did her work in this one. And she actually, let me just get on with this really quickly, and I'll show you what we're talking about in this really quickly. I'm going to bring up a clip really quickly. It's about the 14th Amendment, protection against discrimination. Okay. Before I do that, I want you to look at the actual law, the actual bill that Representative Kesho wrote. Let me bring this up for you really quickly. And here we go. I hope you can see that. There we go, right there. It's a little blurry, but I hope you can see it. Now, this is a concurrent resolution. As I said, it goes to the ballot. Okay. It talks about what the blue is the new language. Okay, every woman has a fundamental right to abortions under circumstances do not threaten a woman's health or safety. That's it. That's in 139. Okay, that's in 139. Okay. She is still keeping within the guardrails of a woman's right. However, if you go down to, I think it's without the application of extraordinary medical measures, if you go to that, A, B, C, D, so on, legitimate state interests include respect for preservation of parental life, prenatal life, at all stages of development, the protection, health and safety, elimination of particularly gruesome or barbaric medical procedures, preservation of the integrity of the medical profession, mitigation of the fetal plan. And the bottom one is the one that caught my attention. When you look at F, it says the prevention of discrimination on the basis of race, sex, or disability. Now she is actually going against what 139 is saying. So what I want to do is, and the reason why that caught my attention, because I've often wondered, does a baby, I don't call it a fetus, does a baby have the constitutional rights as people in this country, in the United States? Okay. And I'm going to use the lens of the Constitution to talk about this. Let me make sure I got my chat set. People want to chat. Here we go. I want to use the lens of the Constitution. Okay, I'm going to show you, first of all, just a little schoolhouse rock on the Constitution. I want to show you, hold on, excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So everybody knows what the 14th Amendment is. So let me just show you a little clip. If you don't remember what the 14th Amendment does, this is what it does.
How does the 14th Amendment protect against discrimination? Have you ever wondered how the 14th Amendment shapes the way we view equality in the United States? This important part of the Constitution was ratified in 1868 during the Reconstruction era, a time of significant change after the Civil War. It plays a key role in protecting individuals from discrimination through two main clauses, the Equal Protection Clause and the Due Process Clause. At its heart, the 14th Amendment grants citizenship to everyone born or naturalized in the United States. This includes formerly enslaved individuals, ensuring that citizenship rights cannot be denied based on race or previous status. This guarantee is essential in protecting people from unfair state laws that might try to exclude or marginalize certain groups. The Equal Protection Clause is particularly important. It prohibits states from denying any person within their jurisdiction equal protection under the law. This means that states must treat individuals in similar situations equally. They cannot create laws that unfairly discriminate against specific groups. Initially, this clause focused on preventing racial discrimination, especially against Black Americans after slavery and the Civil War. Over time, the Equal Protection Clause has expanded to cover other forms of discrimination, including those based on citizenship status, gender, and more. Courts have interpreted this clause to mean that laws must serve a legitimate government purpose and cannot unjustly target or exclude certain groups without a valid reason. The Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment also plays a vital role. It protects individuals from discriminatory treatment by ensuring that no one is deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. This means the government must follow fair procedures and cannot discriminate unjustly when enforcing laws. Throughout history, the protections of the 14th Amendment have been tested in landmark Supreme Court cases. For example, the separate but equal
Okay, so well, let me fix this damn thing and screw this up. Sorry about that, y'all. I am going to have to reboot this damn thing because hold up, let me see if I can fix it because there's some feedback in this. So I'm going to reboot this. I will be right back. I will be right back because I'm getting a lot of phone calls. I'm getting a lot of BS. So let me reboot this and we'll start over.